Well, Marcus Rashford is looking as though he might be settling. Taker manager, a third in a row now. Again, just a feeling of returning to basics here for Manchester United. Obviously talk of Sir Alex Ferguson having a little bit more of an involvement now. And that kind of football is the sort that so many of his teams produce, and it's led to an opening goal for Paul Pogba. That is traditional Manchester United. That is vintage Manchester United. And Bournemouth had no answer.
Well, Pogba's got another goal, but this is all down to Marcus Rashford. I've said I'd love to see him in this position between now and the end of the season, centre forward, but he finds himself in a wide position. And talking about Manchester United going back to basics, a ball down the line, the centre forward is prepared to run the channel. And when he gets in the positions, great feet. This bit here now, and what a ball! And Paul Pogba bombing in at the back post. This is where the goal comes from. In between centre backs and full backs.
Pogba well forward again. He's trying to set it up for Rashford, and with Begovic looking wonderful. Ive. By King, he whips it across, and you just wonder whether maybe Wilson was taken a little bit by surprise, whether he might have just gambled to get in there. It was a devilish ball, really, from Jordan Ibe.
Yeah, one of the strikers were obviously on this side. It was only really Wilson at the back post. Too much defensive responsibility, because that's where he is weak. We know that, we've highlighted that. Get him in the right areas, there's no doubt he's got enormous ability, Paul Pogba.
Yeah, Stanislas. Manchester United haven't done the job here yet. One early goal doesn't, despite that stat we just showed you, doesn't guarantee success. And Stanislas allowed to gallop forward, certainly to within shooting range.
Well, that's what you mentioned earlier, Martin, when you have...
King. Back in against Shaw, and it broke for Brooks. It's Wilson who finds King. Stanislas coming into the box, and it didn't quite get to him. And Ander Herrera showed some real defensive responsibilities there to stop that happening.
Herrera does fantastically well, because you just think it's going to be a certain goal. Good interplay from Bournemouth.
Lingard. He's going to perk up the tempo. It was a deliberate piece of play by Manchester United. It's almost got Pogba in again, though. Not quite the reach this time.
Watching Manchester United, it's like the training at Carrington. That's always a good sign of confidence.
Matic. Herrera. Hands on the move. Lingard in the middle, joined by Rashford and by Pogba. Pogba! 2 for United. 2 for the rejuvenated Paul Pogba. More poses to be struck here at Old Trafford.
As he did with the first one there, he has Rashford, but it's a fantastic cross from Ander Herrera. But what I love about this from Paul Pogba is the courage. Ashley Young again in that right wing position.
It slipped out of Cook's hands, really. Gets to King, who certainly worked De Gea from a tight angle. Caught it well.
He should be where Spurs, Chelsea are really pushing inside that top 4. He finished second last season.
Jose Mourinho said that was one of his best managerial achievements. Said it quite a lot of times, actually. In towards Pogba. Rashford coming in. And it is 3. And Bournemouth opened up again, and they started on the front foot, Manchester United, in this first half. They're ending it in the same vein, and the goals continue to flow for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
And the reason they're opened up, Martin, is because...
Again, as it was at Wembley.
They don't really know they can stop it. Midfield's not strong enough defensively to help that back 5. They can't cope with Manchester United making runs in behind.
short at the corner to King, and it's Brooks, and it's still David Brooks who stabs it across. Ake! They've got one back. Well, not so good defensively, but always ambitious in the attacking side of their football, Eddie Howe's men.
Always good in set pieces.
Little triangle in there, and Matic sweeps it forward again. And Pogba. And the short. Martial for Ander Herrera. Got round Ake. Couldn't quite find the angle to score or set it up for a teammate.
But it's a midfield run into the box again. Luke Shaw does really well. Jordan I've got to do more there to stop him. You see under this half.
Lingard. Nicely done for Matic. Rashford's off and running again. Pogba bursting to get into the middle. It was quite near the goal, but it wasn't near enough to Pogba or Martial, who were the players that Rashford was hoping to pick out.
He had two runners, he had Pogba, he had Martial. I think
for Pogba, which he does willingly. Young calling for a big diagonal here. He's run a long way to try and get it. And Rashford applauds the pass. I think it was aimed for Young, who had the first signal up saying, come on, give it to me. A real switch of play, an extravagant switch of play.
Well, every time Pogba.
United. Rashford, three around him. They could only stop him by infringing the laws of the game. Here's Cook going forward. King darting in, gets in front here, and it was a fantastic block by Bailly. Once King had got there, he thought, surely this is going to at least be on target.
He just takes off. Doesn't seem at the corner of his eye, Bailly.
Bailly. To Lukaku, Martial, Pogba looking for Lukaku's onside. Here's his chance, there's his goal, instant impact. It's all going the way of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Caretaker extraordinaire at the moment.
He said he'd make that change, he wanted to make the change to try and take the game away from Bournemouth. Could Lukaku be that man and get the goal, and that's what he's done. But it's from that man again, Pogba. Best player on the pitch. Maybe he's just offside, his right foot maybe. Very tight. Great pass from Pogba.
Was offside. The Salah in that 4-0 win down at Vitality. Some big decisions have gone against them in big matches. And here's Lingard. Shuffle. Pogba! Turn on to the post. And now the flag is up for offside. The first career hat-trick. He's still got 15 minutes or so left.
Well, it feels like this could be anything now. Pogba absolutely loving this. Involved in everything today. Just hanging back there on the edge of the box. Lingard first.
Of Premier League football in 2018. It's finished resoundingly for Manchester United. And for World Cup, who scored 2 goals.